Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie!
Oh yeah, we're back. What's up, everybody? We are here for another episode of Abby's Window, and if I can get my darn soundboard working here, we'll be in store for some fun. So, what do we say? Let's get to it. As always, I am joined by Abby, Jodie Gilly. Jodie, how are you today?
I'm okay.
Um,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
you said what now?
I said I'm okay, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah. Just know that a lot of people are praying for you.
Thank you.
I want to shout out the folks that are the other part of this show, and that's all of you in the chat. So welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us. Shout out to all of our channel members. Thank you all. And I saw that we had a new member join, and that was King Chris. So thank you for becoming a channel member. I promise all of you channel members, I promise you, things are starting to somewhat slow down. So we will get some membership streams and things out there for you. I apologize. That's mostly on me. My schedule is just nuts. So, but yeah, it's getting a little bit better. So, be on the lookout for some polls and some different things pretty soon for some watch along. So, and some different content. Speaking of different content, your very own Abby has Tea Time with Abby. There are some videos up on the channel. Go check those out. Drop a like on those. Leave some comments. Jodie, you are you planning on doing more soon or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I may work on one tonight. It just kind of depends how I feel.
Yeah.
I might skip today and go with it tomorrow, but yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just say at some point this week, possibly Jodie will have another Tea Time with Abby up.
I'm sure I'll have a few. It's just, yeah. I wanted to do it every day. Yeah, I wanted to do it like a daily thing, but it's just a lot of work. I don't know how I don't know how C Wrestling gets them out there so quickly.
That it takes a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
You devising your own formula of how to do things, how to put things together. But shout out to
Chris
yeah,
says, yeah, Chris says I'm too much of a perfectionist about it. That I'm trying to do like little tiny details. He's like, you don't need to get that
detail.
That serious about it. Just stick some pictures in there and talk.
Yeah, that I understand that part of it too, is trying to work in little details and different things. I get it. Trust me, I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, we've got some other content on the channel, some shorter form videos. So check those out and leave some likes and comments and yeah, let us know what you think. At some point, I'm going to be dropping some content on there too, a little more behind the scenes, a little more into the psychology of matches and promos and different things. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. It'll happen hopefully this week. I'll have my first one out there. So we'll see. Don't want to make any promises, but but yeah, hopefully this week I can get one out there because it's something that not to stand on the soapbox here, but I think a lot of times people just don't understand the psychology behind wrestling. They hear buzzwords on social media or they've watched something on YouTube and they think they automatically know how all booking works and how, creative works and all those things. And that's just not the case. Um, a lot of people who think they're in the know aren't as in the know as they think. So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So I'm just gonna leave that there, and that's kind of the direction that I'll go in my video. So if that interests you, come check them out.
Yeah, that's it's definitely a side of wrestling that not many people take the time to think about. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm looking forward to some of those.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it'll give me an opportunity to kind of go back into some of the training aspects and some of the things that I worked on with some of the trainers that I had in terms of creative and
Hmm.
booking decisions and different things like that. So yeah, and it will allow me to be creative on this end too,
Yeah.
with looking for people to see some of my ideas. Which honestly, I have to start with some of these things, and I don't say this to sound cocky or arrogant. Anyone that truly knows me knows that I'm the furthest thing from cocky or arrogant. But I really need to put some of my thoughts out there more because it happens a lot.
Hmm.
Like some of the stuff I say happens a good bit. So I feel like maybe I understand the business just a little bit. So
Or you secretly work for Impact.
I do not secretly work for Impact. I know that's a rumor out there. I do not secretly work for Impact. I will gladly publicly work for Impact though if they ever gave me the opportunity. Shameless plug, but hey, I would gladly accept the job at Impact Wrestling. But yeah, so let's get let's get into. I see Deanna's comment. That's because Jeff has been working for Impact Wrestling, so he knows.
Mhm.
Christopher saying Jeff should be a booker for Impact Wrestling.
Not just Impact Wrestling. I mean, come on. Let's broaden those horizons. Obviously, yeah, for Impact to be awesome. Um,
I would gladly work for any wrestling company.
me,
Any wrestling.
me
I said it.
too. Me too. Wrestling
Yeah.
company, wrestling journalist.
Yeah. Anywhere.
Just let me know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would love, I would love to quit my job and travel the country.
That would be awesome.
Just saying. So
Going to different wrestling event. Yeah, that would be awesome.
going to different wrestling events, interviewing people,
Yeah.
and Caleb could hire me and I could be his PR person, and
That needs to happen.
I could quit my job and not have to work anymore
That
in hospital. I mean,
30 sketch, yes, I'd work at AEW as well. I'm not discriminatory when it comes to wrestling. I will gladly go anywhere and do creative or whatever they would have me do. Um, yeah, that I would go anywhere.
yeah,
I feel like,
I would love to. Not that I don't like being a nurse, but with all these injuries and issues with my back, I'm a little nervous about going back and working the floor, and it makes me a little bit nervous. And if something, God forbid, happens during my surgery and I can't work anymore, I, I would like something that isn't going to injure me quite as much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, for those of you that don't know, I went to see a spinal surgeon this morning, and he thinks surgery is the best option. Um, I was terrified because I had a feeling he might say that. But he doesn't want to do a spinal fusion or anything like that. He basically wants to go in and um, basically cut out part of my disc in my spine, to give that compressed nerve a little bit more room. So even if it does get inflamed again, it shouldn't cause the numbness and the pain that I'm having. So I still have my steroid injection in my back on Thursday this week. And then I'm having surgery August 10th to have part of my spinal disc. He described it as kind of like shaving it down a little bit. He made it sound like, the easiest thing in the world to do. And me being a nurse, I'm in full on panic mode, because anytime somebody is going to go anywhere near your spinal column with a knife, it's always really scary, because, one mess up or slip of the wrist or whatever, and you could be dead, because your spinal column is your lifeline, basically. So I'm freaking out a little bit. Yeah.
And that's natural to freak out some, but know that you got a lot of people that are praying for steady hands. And
I felt comfortable. So Goodman
Good.
Campbell was somebody that was recommended to me. It wasn't the initial company that my pain specialist referred me to, but I asked if, because Goodman Campbell were able to get me in sooner, and I asked if that was okay, and they said that was fine. Obviously, Goodman Campbell is number one in the United States for a reason, for brain and spinal surgery. So I definitely feel comfortable. I can see just being there for an hour why they are the number one in the country. I have never been treated better by a doctor or like an office, a healthcare setting in my entire life. Like, they pretty much treated me like royalty. And so he made me feel really comfortable. He explained everything. He said that, he said, I know I can use medical terms with you because you understand it. And I said, yeah, that's kind of a good and a bad thing, I guess, because yes, I understand it, but I also have all those risks running in the back of my head. And nurses are the worst patients ever. I say it's
I've heard that.
We know too much, and we know everything that can go wrong, because that's what we do for a living. We take care of things when they go wrong.
Yeah.
But I do feel comfortable with him. I think I'll be fine. It's freaking me out a little, having a knife go into my spinal column.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of well wishes and prayers and support out there for you, Jodie. So
Thank you.
I know that's going to continue to be the case. And you know what? Something that'll bring a smile. Let's go to Caleb's corner, shall we? See, I knew it. I knew it.
He always brings a smile. I was blasting some Caleb Johnson on my way home today, and him singing, it just makes me smile, or talking, anything. Yeah, he does have, and he doesn't know it. Well, he might, but he just has this knack of calming me down. Obviously, when I meet him and stuff, I'm excited and hyper, but when I get really, really anxious, I just listen to him sing, or I do other things too. I'll put on a sermon from Elevation Church or something like that. But Caleb definitely does ease the mind. So not a whole lot of updates when it comes to tours or music announcements. I did write an article about him that's up on Zero News, about his career thus far, and how I found him and how I met him. I really enjoyed writing that. I had fun with it. Obviously, Zero's a wrestling based, but I kind of asked if it was okay for me to branch out a little bit into music, and he was cool with that. So, but Caleb did post a couple of videos of him singing on his social media sites, and they were absolutely fantastic. I said in the comments of one of them that he could sing the dictionary, and I would hang on every word, no pun intended.
Well, you want to play those?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right.
We can just go on like this. Say the word, we'll call it quits. Baby, you can go or you can stay. But I won't love you either way.
Chris Stapleton is one of my favorite artists ever. So the fact that he did that was pretty awesome, and he just absolutely killed it. He
I've heard a lot of comparisons for him and Chris Stapleton, and Caleb is a big Chris Stapleton fan, so I'm sure he appreciates the comparisons between him and Chris Stapleton. But yeah, he can. I think we have another one, don't we?
Oh yeah, we got another. Here's this one.
Way down inside, woman, you need, baby, love. All right.
So, funny story, and I'm going to say something that's going to make my husband roll his eyes at me. I didn't notice he was singing at first because all I could see was, oh my gosh, Caleb doesn't have a shirt on.
You know what, Jody? That has earned you a well-deserved giggity as soon as I can find it. Because that deserves a giggity. For whatever reason is there it is. There we go. Giggity. That my onboard is shifted around, so I apologize for being slow on the uptake there. But yeah.
I'm in a way, I'm kind of glad Dom isn't here because he would have said a lot worse things than I.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yes, that man has quite a voice. Quite a voice.
Yeah.
He could, and I love that he can just sing without music, without any backing, just belt it out. And like I said, I could listen to him sing anything. And now that you've seen a couple of them of him just singing a cappella, why that's such a calming thing for me. So the Celebrating Meatloaf show, this is their lineup so far. I think they've added one to this in Ohio, I believe. Caleb hasn't posted like an updated tour list. So Caleb, if you're watching, please post one of those. Just like an updated list so we can have all of the dates in one place. Lots of fire in the chat. But yes, Celebrating Meatloaf is obviously the tour that he goes on with the Neverland Express. So yeah, make sure you go check him out if he's anywhere near you. I believe he's still working on 2 separate records that he's recording. One of them is loosely based on the Book of Revelation, so I'm really intrigued about that one. And hopefully I hear back from his mom soon about actually getting a date for him to come on for for an interview so we can talk about horror movies. I have a feeling that might end up a little bit more like our interview with Jed Shepard.
Yeah.
That we kind of
Yeah.
look at the clock. Oh crap! It's been an hour.
Oh,
Do you gotta go?
yeah, you
And
got
it
something you need to do.
I think it was an hour and 47 minutes that we
Yeah.
talked to Jed Shepard. So
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So yeah, awesome stuff. And let's get to the man here, Mr. Bray Wyatt.
James Chadwick, don't be a dick. Yes. Words of wisdom
Yeah.
from Jed Shepard. I will, every time I think of Jed Shepard now, that's the first thing that comes to my brain. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And it's still, I adored, I loved having Jason Baker on here. I loved having Kyle Scarborough on here. But Jed Shepard has been my favorite interview to date. It was just so, it didn't feel like an interview. It just felt like a bunch of horror fans sitting around talking about horror movies.
It was a conversation.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and the interviews that are the most fun and the ones that stand out the most are the ones that are just like a conversation, just chatting with people. It was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think we should just kind of address the elephant in the room with the new Bray Wyatt
report. Yeah, I was just about to get there. Yep.
Yeah.
So the update was really not an update. It was more of a, things are still basically the same as they've been. He's not cleared. And I know I've seen a lot of it in the chat. Jody, I know you've got some thoughts on that, so give me your thoughts. And same thing with folks in the chat. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah. Obviously Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful, they're, when it comes to reputable, sources, and he's one of the ones that are up, high up there. And I don't have any doubts about, his sources or where that information came from. No doubts about that at all. I have a lot of respect for them. But as we've seen, and I've told you guys before, because I had I've had it happen to me with Jason Baker. People lie intentionally, and I don't doubt where the info is coming from, but I always take everything, even from people like that, with a grain of salt, because WWE, they're not dumb. They know that everybody wants the Bray Wyatt update. Everybody wants the Bray Wyatt news. And I don't doubt that if he really is close to a return, that they would try to swerve people intentionally. Like I said, Jason Baker did it to me. And I'm fine with that. Totally fine with it, because Bray is one of those people that he likes people to be surprised. And, if it is factual information that he's not cleared yet, he's not cleared to wrestle. If he's not cleared to wrestle, that doesn't mean that that we can't get teases, or that we can't get a return. He just may not wrestle initially. I understand them, being cautious, and if Bray's not 100%, and then he's not 100%, and obviously we want him to be 100%. We've talked about that a billion times before. So if I take everything with a grain of salt, but if it is true that he's not cleared to wrestle yet, that's okay. That doesn't mean that he will never be cleared to wrestle. He will be back at some point. It makes sense. And yes, James Chadwick with C Wrestling's video about some of the responses, and people pretty much just being hateful towards Bray, and that will never win you any points with me at all. In fact, it just makes me think you're an idiot. But you know, and we've said this a million times before, these are real human beings. And, you know, any illness can linger for a long time. You know, I've seen people have, you know, pneumonia, and 6 months later they're still dealing with not having the lung capacity that they used to. I've seen it damage people's lungs permanently. I've seen that with COVID. I've seen it with pneumonia. I've seen it with bronchitis. I mean, any illness that you get can have long-term effects. So if that's what's keeping him from being 100%, to be cleared for in-ring action, just keep that in mind.
There's a lot that you can do that's not in the ring.
And, you know, there's been a lot of hints of potentially seeing the Fiend again. There's been a lot of hints that it might happen at SummerSlam. How many times? I mean, even when Bray first came back, he didn't actually wrestle for a while, and he was doing promos. So, yes, James, I agree. Not everyone has to like him, but there's no need for hateful words about him. So, and C Wrestling said that too. Critique his wrestling, his character, whatever. Don't knock anyone just because they're sick. So
there you go. C Wrestling right on cue.
Yeah. So, great video by C Wrestling, by the way. He knows that I will always support him. So yeah, he may not be cleared for in-ring action. That doesn't stop him from doing promos. You know, and I'm just going to come out and say it. He might be mad at me. Last I heard, he was feeling great. So, hope I don't get in trouble for that. But, you know, I'm not revealing sources or anything like that. Just last I heard, you know, he was feeling good. So, but that doesn't mean that he might not be cleared for in-ring action. But, you know, maybe he feels good enough to do promos and stuff, just not in-ring wrestling. So that's my 2 cents on it. Take everything with a grain of salt, because anybody can mislead. A source can mislead wrestling journalists for a reason, because I've had it happen to me. I'm not a wrestling journalist, obviously, but, you know, I think the only people that know what's really going on is Bray, his family, and Triple H.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Wish him well, and
if he's not 100%, Bray, we want you to be 100% because we love you.
Right.
And if that means that you're out for another however long it might be, we're still going to be here. We're never going anywhere. And, you know, he may not be cleared to wrestle today. He might be cleared to wrestle, hell, tomorrow. You just don't know. Like, he could, yeah. I mean, that could change at any moment.
Right. Yeah. Things change quickly, and this can too. So, yeah. You know, and I haven't seen.
Don't get too down and depressed over it, because things can change on a dime.
Yeah. And I will have to go and watch C Wrestling's video. I haven't had a chance to.
So funny.
But I will go check it out. So on a positive note, I've got this here.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So congratulations to Bray's sister. She had a little baby girl, and she is so cute. So
Adorable.
Bray is an uncle.
Yeah, it's awesome. Uncle Wyndham.
I actually think, correct me if I'm wrong, that's his first niece or nephew.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he's been, because Bo doesn't have any kids, does he?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, so this is the first time that Bray has been made an uncle.
There you go, Uncle.
So, Uncle
Awesome.
Wyndham.
Yeah, Uncle Wyndham.
It's like congratulations to the whole family.
Yeah.
Her name, if I'm pronouncing it right, is Selah, which is a biblical name, actually. And I forget what it means now. My husband looked it up, and now I forget what it means. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Babies are
Dom.
great.
Yeah.
Yes. Dom asked this question about meeting your heroes. You know, that the whole old adage is never meet your heroes, and asked the general Twitter community how we felt about it. And I said, absolutely meet your heroes. Exhibit number 1 and exhibit number 2. Obviously, both heroes to me for very different reasons, but heroes nonetheless.
Right.
And this is from, I'm probably going to butcher it, Machine
Shaheen.
Yes, thank you. On Twitter. Obviously, he responded and said, yes, meet your heroes, and that Bray was everything that he expected him to be. So that was a cool comment there. And Nicole obviously pitched in too and said, yes, absolutely meet your heroes, because she's met him several times. And obviously that's an old picture, but I miss him. Yeah.
He's gonna be, I feel like he's getting there. I think he's getting there. Well, let's talk about some of the stuff we've been getting.
Yeah. So Jason Baker, he knows exactly what he's doing. He was with Eric Rowan, and was, I think the caption he put on this was like playing games or something. Obviously that's Eric Rowan in the sheep mask. So yeah.
And then we've got
and then I took a screenshot of this because Bray fans have to look at every detail, and I noticed the black sheep mask as well, which obviously was Adams. So yeah.
And then we got,
oh yeah, so somebody mentioned this on Twitter, and I can't let me look up who it was, but they saw this theory about Bray saying several times about rewriting his story. And I thought that was really, really interesting. It was, I don't have who it was. Darn.
let me see if I can find that.
If that was you, let me know. But said these specific 3 videos, every single one of them, Bray has said something about a story. So the first one, he said it's time to rewrite my story. And then the second one, he said something about rewriting his story. And then obviously this one was, if I told you a story, could you keep a secret? So that was a very, very interesting connection that I thought was fantastic. That he made that fantastic.
That's good work. Good detective work.
So I got a little bit of hate for this. So WWE posted this on their Instagram and said, what surprises await at SummerSlam 2023? And the moment that WWE changed forever. Obviously, this is, Roman Reigns attacking the Fiend after the match that he had with Braun Strowman, where he won the belt. And obviously this set up the triple threat match where the Fiend was not pinned by Roman. But nevertheless, he ended up winning the title and started this title reign that's lasted for over 3 years now. So, yes, Negan Mox, we will get into that. We will get there. Because I almost made a video about it, but there was just way too much information. So yeah, I got a lot of hate for this, for saying, that the Fiend was mentioned again.
Really?
Yeah, I did on Twitter. I got quite a bit of hate for it. People just saying, obviously this is about Roman, not the Fiend. Well, they didn't have to post that.
They could have posted a different image. They could have posted when he pinned Braun, or something different. But
So yeah, I got a lot of hate for making that connection to the Fiend.
Twitter.
Yeah, I think it mostly, part of it was because I wrote an article about it on for Zero News. So there's a lot of hate for him on social media. He's always been really good to me, and obviously has offered me this platform to write. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm happy for me, and I'm enjoying it. And it wouldn't matter, obviously, he's been really good to me, but if it was another site, I would be happy too. I'm happy writing. So yeah, I got a lot of hate for that. Yeah, again.
So yeah, I'll read this. So it says
everything with a grain of salt, but it's accurate. It's very interesting.
At wrestling blog _ the wrestling blog. For the past couple weeks, there's been rehearsals of shutting the lights off completely on the arena, and then turning them back on and having someone appearing at the ring, and then shutting the lights off and turning them on again, and the person would disappear.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Now, why would they do that?
I wonder why.
I wonder why. That's
I wonder why.
I wonder why. That's a hint of a specific person. It doesn't have to be the Fiend. It could be, because we've seen Bray and Uncle Howdy do that too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it could be a combination, or it could be there are a few different things, but it if true, that's certainly a good sign as well. And like you said, things can be done to mislead or to give people a certain thing in terms of journalism. But I mean, 2 + 2, the last time I checked, is 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the math is working out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it's true, great. If it's not true, it don't matter. It's still fun.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying all the little rumors, and to me, it doesn't matter whether they're accurate or not. I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to play detective and to dig and to theorize, and it's fun. And I said this earlier, and I think a lot of times, and not just that's true, James Chadwick, unless it's Steiner math. That's very true. Steiner math does not line up the same way.
No.
That's for certain. But I would say that it's fun to theorize, and it's fun to kind of go down those rabbit holes, so to speak. But the problem that I see people having is they're not able to do that without feeling entitled that it has to happen their way. And when it doesn't happen their way or in their timing, they get pissed off and bitter,
Yeah.
and it like it's fun to fantasy book. I do it
yeah.
quite often.
For sure.
But
And Herdy Sketch said it keeps people talking about Bray. So win-win.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I,
Have
I I'm
have fun
enjoying
with
it.
it is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I'm enjoying it all. Like I said, regardless of whether or not it's true or not, I love it. It's like he said, it keeps people talking about Bray. And I think a lot of people um like to burst the bubble and just let people enjoy it. That's what I'm doing. I'm enjoying it regardless of whether or not it's true.
Yep.
Take everything with a grain of salt, but enjoy it anyway.
Yep.
Because it keeps people talking about Bray.
That's right. That's right. He's at the top of mind. I mean, he was
Dude,
trending today.
we fantasy booked the Fiend in horror movies.
Right.
You
That's
know what
true.
I mean? Like, we got to that at one point. We were like, so if we had the Fiend and Michael Myers and Jason, and Freddy Krueger, who would win?
Yeah. I mean,
And
it was fun. It
just
was a fun
fun.
discussion.
Yeah.
The King says it here. It's entertainment. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. You get it.
Yeah.
I wish other people would. Oh my goodness. So
I just saw C's comment that he asked around about it, and so we wouldn't need to rehearse that for weeks. That's true. They probably wouldn't unless it was, somebody new that was being added to that. I don't know. Maybe they're just doing it to mess with people.
to mess with people. Yeah. Hey, have fun. Have fun.
Yes. Have
Get
fun.
everyone in a frenzy. Right? Why not?
Get everyone in a fiendish mood.
There you go. Speaking of fiendish,
Fiendish mood.
I know we talked about this the last episode, and I want to get the thoughts of the chat as well. But I mean, do you think we're headed towards seeing the Fiend again?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're inching towards that return of the Fiend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know that he will be like a staple. Yeah, I think he may be reserved for special events, or it could just be, that the Fiend needs to help in some way. So if you go back and watch the old, so me and Chris went back and watched every single episode of the Funhouse, trying to pick out not clues, but just that's an interesting way he said that, because don't put it past Bray to have planned this a long time ago. So even if he didn't quite know the little details, but yeah, we went back and watched every single Firefly Funhouse episode, and he talks about secrets then, that the Fiend was a secret, and do you want to see my secret? And now it's almost like the story is rewriting itself, because it's eerily similar to what we saw, how the Funhouse evolved, how the Fiend evolved. It is very, very similar to what we're getting right now, talking about secrets, and that Bray has a secret. And I think, and I said this on my Tea Time with Abby video, I think that Howdy is the puppet master. I think Howdy is Bray, not Bray playing Howdy in the ring. Obviously, we're pretty served to that it's Bo Dallas playing him, but I think the character of Uncle Howdy is Bray, and I think he's the puppet master. He knows everything, and he's the one in control. If you think of the Funhouse, and we got this hinted at before, like a prison, and everybody's trapped inside, and the only way that you can get out is to be summoned. So yeah, so otherwise, Howdy has to let you out, so to speak. And my theory with this,
I love that. Hold on. I want to
What?
go back to that, what you just said, because I don't even know if you realize what you said. The Fiend
Uh-huh.
let him in.
Mm-hmm.
You just said with Howdy, let him out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I
I
think
like
the
the
whole
contrast there.
I think the whole let me in. So if you think of the demonic side of this, and a ton of this credit goes to my husband Chris, because we sat there for hours talking about this. They can only go where they're summoned. They can only go where they're invited. So the little attacks that the Fiend had early on, and he was always saying, let me in. All you have to do is let me in. He has to be invited. And all the little attacks that he did on people before he got to a certain person, he was trying to get them to summon him, to challenge him, to let him in, because they can, demons can only go where they're invited. So he was trying all along to get people. He did it to us, the fans. Let me in. Let me in. I'll always light the way. All you have to do is let me in. He was going to any means necessary to get somebody to invite him in. And that was the only way he could get out of the funhouse, if you think of it like this prison. So when he talks about who opened the door, think about the first person to actually challenge the Fiend to a match, the first person to actually let him in.
I know where you're going.
And that was Finn Balor. And then think about,
You know what? No. Say that again.
Finn Balor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So Finn Balor was the first person to actually challenge the Fiend. And if he can only go where he's invited, he was the first person to let him in. And if you think about when the whole White Rabbit thing started, happy birthday, Ryan.
Yeah, I gotta play this for Ryan because you know how we do birthdays
You know
here.
how we do it. We
And
missed the birthday last week. It was somebody's birthday.
well, you know what? I'm gonna play this for all of you because we missed a birthday last week. Ryan's birthday is today. He's 30, and Aesthetic Wyatt 6, I believe. Birthday is in 2 days. So happy birthday to all of you. Here you go. And Jody, please hold that thought because I want to hear it because it looks interesting.
Happy birthday to you.
So Hurdy Sketch just said something very, very interesting, and it made me think. And then Negan Mox kind of added to it. You guys have some great, great thoughts, and I'm glad that you're understanding what I'm trying to say. So Hurdy Sketch just said the sign abandon hope all he who exit here because the Fiend is out there in that world. That sign wasn't that put up after?
After Finn?
Maybe it wasn't. But the sign saying abandon hope all ye who exit here is because when you unleash the Fiend, and that's something that Ramblin' Rabbit said, the Fiend is unleashed. You should abandon hope. Because the Fiend has been let out. So yeah, Finn Balor was the first one to actually call out the Fiend and essentially let him in. And Negan Mox said Bray even mocked Finn for inviting the Fiend to his doorstep willingly, adding to that theory that demons can only go where they're invited. You have to let them in.
Yeah.
And you have seen the episode of Black Mirror, Demon 79. They talk about that in that particular episode too, that demons can only go where they're invited. You have to invite them in. you have to say yes. You have to let them in. So what if the let them in thing is all about literally the Fiend couldn't leave the funhouse without someone letting him in? And that opened the door. Yes, Eric, happy
Yep.
belated birthday.
Yep.
Yeah, so I just that whole theory of letting him in. And then when we started to see, and I think I sent you, I don't know if you got these pictures in or not. We started to see the White Rabbit stuff, and we went down the rabbit hole and we got that Hangman game. If you look very closely, Finn Balor wears that t-shirt with the purple X on it. That was my first thing. But if you look very closely at the letters the rabbit jumps to first, it's in a particular order. And it spells out DEMON.
I'm pulling it up.
DEMON. So, and those are the first letters that the rabbit essentially spells out trying to play this Hangman game. So what if the person that opened the door is Finn Balor because he was the first person to let him in, and then Finn Balor is the White Rabbit trying to get us to follow the breadcrumbs, go down the rabbit hole to let him out.
That is an interesting thought.
So I think it might have been Finn Balor. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. He spells out DEMON. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, and obviously you've got the red X too, or the purple X.
Purple X.
We have seen Finn Balor wear off and on, but he's been wearing it more recently. A lot recently, actually. So what if Finn Balor is leaving us those breadcrumbs? We've seen him go a little bit darker.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's
now he's the one to let him out?
He's becoming more unhinged.
Nico Mox said another thing too. Finn doesn't understand what the funhouse really is. Ramblin' Rabbit knows what's up. He knows the truth, but he's always silenced. And if you think about the funhouse as a prison, you know, and this alternate world where there was a movie about that. Oh, the Murder House, American Horror Story.
Yeah.
That once you're in, you can't ever leave, and nobody ever dies. It just goes on and on and on and on like eternity. So if the funhouse is like that, we know that Bray is a horror fan. And there actually was when American Horror Story started doing these single episode spinoffs, there was an episode about the murder house being eternity. Once you go in, you're stuck. And nobody ever dies. And the only way to actually stop it was to set the house on fire. So very, very interesting episode of that one. Hotel California. Yep. You can check in, but you can never leave. So if Funhouse is this repeating eternity, that's why Ramblin' Rabbit never dies. But Ramblin' Rabbit knows the truth, but he's always silenced.
Negan Mox, did you see that quote up there from one of the episodes? I got it on the screen.
Finn doesn't understand what the funhouse really is. And then Bray tries to kill him.
Yep.
But he doesn't die.
Yep. And he says that gives your theory weight. Plus, Abby flat out says she doesn't want to be stuck in this limbo anymore. And Bray tells her, "I'll never let you leave."
Yeah, he was like, I'll never let you rest. Something like that. And then, and we've talked about that before, that maybe the funhouse is limbo where people can't ever die. So basically the Fiend is Beetlejuice. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean,
I just
yeah,
thought, yeah, that's interesting.
but I think it's Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor's going to be the one to bring him back.
Bring them back. Okay, that's interesting. I like that. I
Kirby.
like that.
Yep.
You know what else we like around here, right?
Mm.
Other than our segues, is art. We like art, right?
We do.
So we're gonna show some off.
Yeah.
Got some talented folks. I'm gonna start here with this one. This edit here.
Oh, so Eric made this for me right after I got home from the doctor's office. You know, he said I was just trying, wanted to do something to make you smile. And obviously, Bray's one of my favorite people on the planet. I love that picture.
That's very kind of you, Eric. That's awesome. Awesome edit.
Yeah. So Kyle posted this one. And Kyle loves to mess with people too. I'm just going to put that out there. He knows I adore him. And he's also one of my favorite people on the planet. But he does like to mess with people. So I have no idea if this is related. It doesn't. I mean, there's definitely prison bars there. Yeah, I don't know, but that's a really cool piece of art.
That is cool. I gotta bring this up because this is pretty cool. Matt P says, I want to see Bray help Roman keep his belt and have fans get mad at him, or help Finn screw Damian Priest and help Judgment Day and work with Dom to really get heat. Bray wants to push the limit. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's a good question. How could Finn Balor play into this story now? Could he stop Damian Priest from a successful cash-in? I mean, because there are cracks there. We've seen them at odds with each other already.
They have been.
Uh-huh. And Finn has been very dark.
Just saying.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're gonna keep going.
Big Wrestling said he sent you a DM.
Okay.
Yes. Another piece from Hurdy Sketch. You are one hell of an artist. I just want to say that. I know he's in the chat. So you really are one hell of an artist.
See wrestling. That is awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry.
See, now I feel out of the loop. That's not fair.
I'll send it to you. That's awesome.
What if the Fiend is taking over Finn? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Bray, when he first came back, he said, along this journey, I will do horrible things. What if he's overtaking Finn? And then we get Finn come out at some point and say, the Fiend put me back together. Like Bray said that about the Fiend.
Yeah.
That the Fiend put him back together. And Wrestling Wizard, speaking of that, put out one hell of a video about Bray being a liar. So if you haven't watched that, go watch it, because he makes a lot of really, really valid points about Bray being a liar. And it blew my mind. So definitely go watch that one, because it's a mind F for sure.
Mind F, yeah.
Yeah. I love this one. So this was I did save a screenshot of who that actually was. This was Anime Fiend on Twitter. Posted the caption, "Revel in what you are, follow the white rabbit." And I love like the newspaper in the back. It's almost like a crime scene, like a
Yeah,
detective, how they put stuff on board, or just like
on the board.
whiteboards and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right, here we go. Here's another one.
Oh, I love this one too. So this is Eric. He posted this. It's art by Hamlin McGill on Instagram. And I just love the glowing eyes. And if you look carefully, the puppets are there too. And I
Mhm.
think that's just fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You guys, your talent, my goodness, is
I
crazy.
know. That's funny. Very funny. Um, so this one is Dawn Lee Griffin on Twitter. I love collages. That's just me. Love it. I love collages. So I really like that one in the top left with the black
Mhm.
mask, the Fiend in the black mask.
Yeah. I'm really digging the lantern.
Yes.
Like, the lantern is just
Yeah. Yep. And obviously Kyle's picture of
yeah,
the lantern too, his concept art of the
yeah,
lantern, which is freaking awesome.
yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, you guys
Amazing stuff.
are insanely talented. This is Nicole. Her wonderful, wonderful piece of art. She is not feeling well, so prayers to Nicole.
Yes.
I was messaging with her earlier, and she said she feels like Rhea Ripley beat her up.
Oh, that's she
Which
feels bad.
isn't really, it's not really funny, but it is funny at the same time. So yes, prayers for Nicole. I love the obviously that play. He's got the whole world in his hands,
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
Roman on the upside down.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
This is Blake. So Jason Baker posted this actual picture of him and Bray backstage, obviously after the Pitch Black match or before the Pitch Black match, one of the two. And Blake did a picture of that, and I love that.
The detail again is just crazy. All right. Up next.
Yes, Brittany. Fantastic piece of art. Again, I love her attention to detail, and she's very, very talented. Erase Your Mind, I do like that idea of Kyle's art being Pan's Labyrinth Fiend. I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it for sure. This is another Brittany piece. She added blood to the Firefly Funhouse. Firefly Funhouse episode. And again, I love the water effect. I love the skulls in the water. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat.
Yeah, I just had to remove someone, so
Yeah.
look
Okay.
at the eyes here.
Oh, I know. I know.
Wow.
Yeah. The bright blue eyes. And we have seen Bray with those bright blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Point. In that Mad Hatter episode.
That's right.
wonder if there's a connection there.
There may be.
Because that was where we saw the 1911, 1119, one of
Mm-hmm.
the two.
Mm-hmm.
11, 19. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more. I love this piece that Brittany did. I'm just going to say that 100%. I love it. I love that Bray is trying to hide Ramblin' Rabbit. She's holding on to the lantern. You've got the picture. I mean, even the detail down to the pictures in the background.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fantastic.
Awesome. It's awesome.
You guys are so freaking talented.
It's crazy how talented.
It blows my mind.
Then we've got one last one here, and this is
I love, again, so freaking talented. Yes, we have Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and I love that one too. I love it. I would love to get Kross on this channel.
yes.
He's like a really fun dude to interview.
Yeah, he'd be a lot of fun to interview.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys
not
are
just with the wrestling stuff, but
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are insanely talented. I love it.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank you all so much for your amazing artwork and sharing your talents, and just great stuff. Great stuff. All right, Jodie. Well, we're gonna wrap this episode up. Give me your final thoughts, and then we'll get out of here.
Take everything with a grain of salt because people lie. And that's not me throwing shade at, like I said this in the beginning, it's not me throwing shade at Fightful or Sean Rossap. That's, me saying that sources can lie intentionally to mislead people to keep things a surprise. But if Bray really is not cleared to in-ring action, we hope that he is when he's 100%. We will be here no matter what, because we love you.
We're here, and listen. We didn't go anywhere for 15 months. We're not going anywhere now.
Nope.
So we're here.
And 15
James,
months, Bray. And we weren't even sure he was going to come back. We didn't even know. But, the fans Fireflies are very passionate and wouldn't take no for an answer.
I need James's translation services real quick. What was it that Jed Shepard said again? Don't be okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my there's my final thought. Don't be a dick.
There you go. All right. And on that note, folks, we will head out. Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you don't mind, drop us a like on this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, please. And again, drop a like on the video before you head out. Thank you all for joining us. Jodie, thank you for your insight. And thank you, chat, for the wonderful conversation and theories out there. So thank you all so much. You're awesome. And we'll see you next time on Abby's Window. And here's the last thing I wanted to say. I keep forgetting this. We'll be back on Thursday for Impact Wrestling. So come check us out. That's the go home show before Slammiversary. So that's gonna be a good one. But anyway, take care, be safe, and enjoy Raw tonight. Have a good evening, folks.
So what do you